Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the new era of Seahawks offseason news. That's right. We are in the new era, the post trying to figure out what we're going to do at quarterback era, because as of yesterday afternoon, we now know. Like it or not, love it or not, hate it or not, Geno Smith is going to be the guy for a minimum of 1 year. A minimum of 1 year, almost certainly a minimum of 2 years. And now that we know that, we can start to narrow down a little bit on what this offseason might look like. We can start eliminating some possibilities, and that's always nice to do. It's fun to have a completely clean slate to work from, but once your team starts to make some big decisions, you can start to figure out what the little decisions might look like. So, with that being said, in this video, I want to talk about where we go from here, where Geno Smith is now under contract, and we need to figure out how to build around him for a couple of years. Because, I'll say it again, Geno Smith is a veteran, expensive quarterback. Not among the most expensive, but he is relatively expensive. There are a bunch of quarterbacks that make more than him, but he still makes a lot now. The only reason why you would want to have a quarterback like that is because you're trying to win. And I mean win at the highest level, not just win some games, win more than you lose, win the division, win a playoff game. No, you're trying to go all the way. You might not get there, but you got to try. So let's dissect all this. So first of all, before the Geno Smith contract kicks in, if you go to Spotrac right now and you take a look at our estimated cap space, it's about $24 million. $24 million. Now, as of my recording of this video, I don't know what the contract looks like yet for Geno Smith. We know it in general, but we don't know how it exactly breaks down from year to year. And by the way, no, the first year cap hit is not 52 million. That is not what that means. There were a lot of people yesterday who were misinterpreting the contract news as, oh, he's going to get a $52 million cap hit in the first year because it said he can make up to $52 million in the first calendar year. That's not how it works. Remember, guarantees, signing bonus get split up along the length of the contract. So, no, that is not how it works. He's not getting a $52 million cap hit in year one. That doesn't even make sense, and we would never do it. So, yeah, that's not happening. But we don't know what the cap hit is actually going to be as of right now, and we'll learn soon. Now, as for some possibilities, let's take a look at the contract Derek Carr just got. According to Spotrac, if you go over to his page, he got a deal that was a little bit bigger in terms of average annual value. 37.5 for Derek Carr. So, despite getting a slightly bigger contract, if you take a look at the contract, if you really take a look at this contract right here for Derek Carr, you will see the first year cap hit, this year's cap hit, $7.2 million. So, even though the body of the contract is very big and he's going to be making a lot of money per year over the length of it, that first year cap hit is only 7.2. And then in the future years, it balloons up about 36 million, 46 million, and if he sees it, which is unlikely, 56 million. And they throw in a void year at the very end of 5.7 million to make things just a little bit easier. Now, Geno Smith's first year cap hit won't be like this. It won't be 7.2 million. The main reason why the Saints are able to do this is because they did a 4-year deal. There's more years to spread the money around. We didn't do that. We did a 3-year deal. So we have less room to spread the money around. But even though we won't do something like this, and it won't be 7.2, it could be 12. Maybe you could even get it down to 10. I'm not saying we should. Maybe that would be a little too much, but you can get it down pretty low. So when we learn what the cap hit is in the coming, I'd say, day or two, we should be learning it really soon here. It's not going to be like this because the contract isn't long enough. But don't be surprised if that first year cap hit is like 12 million. And that would obviously, let me zoom back out there a little bit. That would obviously leave a pretty decent amount of cap space left over. That would only take up half of what remains. Now, If you scroll all the way down here and look at the projected draft pool cap, you'll see that we need more than that just for our draft picks. By the way, this chart doesn't even include our 7th round pick. Not that that matters that much, but you're looking at well over $10 million for your draft picks. Even if you do some trading up, even if you maybe even trade for some future picks, you're looking at pretty much all of the remaining cap space going to the rookie class. So, first thing I want to say is that even though most of our cap space is now accounted for because of this Geno Smith contract, whatever it ends up being, and just because the rest of it is basically covered by the rookie class, that does not change the fact that this needs to be a go-for-it move. And now it is time to take a swing, and it's going to start in free agency, and you're going to have to clear money to make that happen. So, remember those videos I made about a month ago? The guys the Seahawks can release to save money. Gabe Jackson, Al Woods, Brian Monet, Quentin Jefferson, Shelby Harris. Take a look at them, figure it out, clear some space. The guys that you could extend to reduce their cap hit. Guys like Uchenna Nwosu, guys like Noah Fant, guys like even, honestly, Shelby Harris. I don't care what route you go, but it's time to clear some space so you can actually do something this offseason. There are guys that you can restructure. Tyler Lockett, Will Dissly. Take a look at what those guys can save you if you maneuver the cap a little bit and get some space to sign some guys. Because as of right now, even if the Geno contract is heavily backloaded, which I'm sure it is, there's not going to be any money for anything else at this point. Because the rookie class is going to be so expensive because we have so many high-value picks. So, find a way to clear space. Honestly, if you want to go a little bit crazy and start tacking on void years to the contracts you already have, like you could do it with a guy like a Metcalf or Lockett, or you could do it with somebody like even a Quandre Diggs. You could do that with somebody like who else? I don't want to say Jamal Adams because nobody wants anything to do with that. I get that, but find creative ways to do it. You can trade Noah Fant. If you trade Noah Fant, all of his money becomes on the team that trades for him becomes on the hook for his full salary. So I'm just looking for this team to show that they're gonna follow up correctly. Bringing in Geno for this 3-year extension is totally fine by me. I think the contract is fine too. Don't have a big problem with it, although we'll see exactly what the contract is. But now you have to follow up. Don't bring back Geno just so you can secure your 9 wins this season. Don't bring him back just so you can secure competency. Bring him back because you want to build a really good team around him and go for the gold. Be a team worthy of having a quarterback like a Geno Smith on the roster. And that's going to require some tough decisions. It's going to require some aggressive maneuvers. Got to do it. That's how this works right now. And again, I want to stress this. As of right now, unless the Geno contract is completely off the wall, like it's like a $4 million cap hit that first year somehow, which is almost impossible. Right now, after the Geno contract, we don't have enough to do anything except sign our rookies. So that's free agency. We're going to have to find a way to take some swings here. If it's Daron Payne, it's Daron Payne. If it's Draymond Jones, it's Draymond Jones. If it's Garrett Bradbury or Connor McGovern, then sure. If it's Bobby Wagner, whoever it is, you're not going to be able to get through this next year with rookies alone. The team last year was decent. We ended up with a 9-8 record on a pretty weak schedule. You could probably call last year's Seahawks team average overall. So you got a long way to go if you want to make the team great. And a rookie class is not going to get it done by itself. So right now, I'm saying it. It's time to start making moves, and it's time to prep for what will hopefully be at least a semi-active free agency period. Now, the good news is it doesn't have to be too active because you do have a robust slate of picks. And let's talk about the draft for a minute here, because one of the things that came out of the Geno contract yesterday was, oh, I guess the Seahawks aren't interested in using a high draft pick on a quarterback. Probably true. Probably true. I think using our number 5 pick on Richardson, Levis, Stroud, Young, I think that pretty much went out the door now. But let's think about this for a second here. Let's just visit the possibility for a minute. If you take a look at the draft right now, this is on a NFL mock draft database, which is an aggregate site that takes a look at mock drafts and big boards all across the the NFL, or excuse me, the World Wide Web. And as you can see, they have 4 quarterbacks in the top 9. 4 of their top 9 players are quarterbacks. The strength of this draft at the top is quarterback. So when your pick comes up at number 5, there is at least a decent chance BPA is a quarterback. So I don't think the possibility can be completely ignored, especially when you look at some recent history and you see the benefit of having a young, even a blue chip young quarterback sit for a year, maybe even more, to learn behind a veteran. Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes come to mind. Now, remember this as well. This crew of rookie quarterbacks is incredibly young. Most of them probably not ready to start, as good as they are. Stroud is going to be 21 when this NFL season starts. Richardson and Bryce Young will turn 22, I believe, right after the draft. Levis is a little different, but even he's going to be 24 when the season starts. Even he could benefit from sitting behind a quarterback for a year plus. So I don't want to completely discount it. For all we know, the Geno contract is like the Raiders' Derek Carr contract, because the Raiders had an easy out on that contract after the first year. That's why they don't have him right now. The contract was big, but the Raiders could decide to pull the plug on it after 1 year and only owe him a few $1,000,000. For all we know, that's going to be the case with Geno. If you knew for a fact that Geno Smith was only going to be here for 1 year unless he lit it up, if you knew there was a super easy out after 1 year, you would probably feel a little bit differently about taking a quarterback than you do right now. So we'll have to see about that. That being said, I do agree that taking a quarterback with a top pick in this draft is a lot less likely and a lot less appealing, because again, I'm trying to go for it. I'm trying to make this year as good as possible. And getting a backup quarterback is not going to make this season any better, in all likelihood. For one, he's probably not going to play. Number 2, even if he does play, that's not good, because it means Geno got hurt or fell apart. And none of these rookies are going to have a rookie year as good as the year that Geno had last year, which is what we hope he lives up to. So I am looking at guys like Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, Tyree Wilson. Those would be my main guys right now. Those 3 guys who can immediately transform this defense. And I think that if you're bringing back Geno, the most sensible thing to do would be to find a way to make the team in 2023 as good as possible. Jalen Carter transforms this defense by himself potentially. Will Anderson could do that too. Tyree Wilson could do that. There are probably a couple other guys here. Oh, and by the way, another big element here is, now that we know we don't really need a quarterback, now that we know that we're not really on the market for one, that means it becomes much easier to trade down when a quarterback is sitting there. So if our pick gets there at number 5 and Anthony Richardson is sitting there ready to be taken, there's a very good chance a team below us is going to give you whatever it takes to trade up because they fell in love with his combine. Or Levis is going to be there, and they're going to trade up with you because they really like Levis. Maybe Stroud will be there. Maybe somebody's going to be there. And whoever that somebody is, there's definitely going to be a team a few spots below you that covets that player. Look at the picks right below us. You've got the Raiders, they need a quarterback. The Falcons might need a quarterback. The Panthers need a quarterback. The Titans need a quarterback. I mean, don't be shocked if there's a really juicy trade down opportunity at number 5 anyway. So I think that this is how things have changed now. I think the trade down possibility becomes more appealing. I think it's far more likely that we end up taking one of the stud defensive players at the top of this draft. And the most important change right now is I hope we're ready to take a plunge. I hope we're ready to give Geno Smith the kind of team that he deserves. Now, there's one little element that I want to touch on here at the end of this video. I don't want to ignore this very obvious fact. Geno Smith coming back means that Drew Lock is gone. Drew Lock is probably going to Tampa Bay. It doesn't really matter where he goes, but he's not going to come back here to just be a backup. He's probably going somewhere where he'll at least have a chance to start. Again, Tampa Bay makes sense, but there are other teams where he would have a chance to start. And we're going to need a backup quarterback. And one of the reasons why I'm not completely discounting the possibility of us taking one of the stud rookie quarterbacks at number 5, even though I think it's very unlikely, who else are you going to take at quarterback other than those 4? I mean, after this top 4, it's a huge drop-off to a guy who tore his ACL late in the season last year and is, even at this point with his medicals going fairly well, might be worthy of a second-round pick. I'm not convinced that he is. I don't really like anybody else, so I haven't found my mid-round backup quarterback who I feel really great about. Honestly, my favorite might be Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and I don't like him that much. So I'm not really seeing the perfect backup quarterback behind Geno that you don't take at number 5. But I don't think that's a good enough reason to spend a top 5 pick on a quarterback. So, hey, there are many angles to consider here. I'm not saying anything has been completely removed from consideration, but things have narrowed down a little bit. So let me know what you guys think about all this. This is how I see things change. It definitely has big ramifications down the road, and I'm still trying to put it all together in my head, still trying to put it all together verbally for the videos, but that's the way I see it right now. So I will see you guys later. Hopefully we get contract details soon, and we'll be able to break down the exact ramifications of the Geno extension. But like it or not, he's the guy. I say do whatever it takes to build around him now. Give him the best chance to go make a deep run and have big performances now. Because odds are good that even if he does well, you're probably only looking at a couple of Geno Smith years to go. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. More videos coming later today.